What up? I had to go and get my Diet Coke. Anything going on? What's the story, guys? So here's what's interesting. I didn't realize how many people. I mean, there's a lot of movement, obviously, on the Facebook groups. I didn't realize how many people aren't in the Facebook groups because the amount of tickets that I got about the Creator Connections messaging not working for the last 48 hours, it has been wild. And I didn't. I'm usually not one to post in the Facebook groups like, "Hey, maybe search first," because I just don't want to be like that guy. I almost did it today. Almost. What's up, guys? I know there's a lot of stuff going on. I thought I'd jump on and maybe chat with you a little bit, just some of my thoughts and I'm not sure I know what you're talking about with the reporting. Was there something going on? Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, man. I appreciate the nod. I'll try to be a hero light, maybe. I'm just kind of going through. Rob has a mental breakout. No, honestly, it was the CC messages got me. That was because I think that a lot of people were sort of anticipating the reporting and change. And I made that video a couple days ago talking that I think it was from 70 to 75% this was going to happen. The reporting made the whole thing awful. Or not the reporting, the messages, and thank God it's actually Creator Connect. I mean, for whatever degree, that's Creator Connections' fault. It was something going on. It is kind of interesting for me, the timing there. They make this giant change in like a couple days prior. Like I'd seen some weird stuff going on. Like some people that we saw some random server issues kind of happen leading up to this change today. And I think I posted about it yesterday or the day before. I was like, just kind of be prepared. It's going to be interesting on what's going on. I'm just kind of going down through these here real quick. So I had a lot of the hellos at the beginning. I did see your comments. Busted. Well, thanks, guys, for just jumping in. I thought I'd just jump on for an hour. I'm working on some stuff. There's actually another feature I'm dropping into the extension that you guys have been harping on me for a long time to do, and I am begrudgingly putting it in because it's not always about Fizz. So let's talk about a couple things here. I'm very tired. My energy level's low, not just because of today. I am worn out. Let me get a quick swig of the DC. So first off, let me hit on the. By the way, I'm not going to go over this twice. So when people come in here in about 15 minutes, maybe I should give it 5 minutes before I start getting too in depth. Although I hate to punish you guys for being here on time. Let's just go. I'll start off with the Creator Connections messaging thing. This one's kind of interesting to me. The timing of it, I think, is interesting. It feels a little bit more sort of infrastructure related than anything else. My first assessment was, so every time that Oink or Creator Connections for that matter, every time that you send a message, it uses what's called a context token. So think of it like a phone number. So every brand has their own phone number within Creator Connections. And what I thought was happening was that maybe like the context tokens weren't generating because you could technically, it looked like it was sending and then it just wouldn't go through. But I looked and every single context token is actually still generating, whether it's an existing conversation or whether it's a brand new conversation that you're trying to initiate or whatever the case is, that context token is. So everything technically on the side that we're on looks like it's getting put together correctly. But for some reason, appreciate that, Nikki. I appreciate that after today. Here, I'm going to highlight that. I just want to get that a little bit of sunshine. Thank you. But so that call is going out on the messages, but the place that it's going, there's just like nobody home but only on the brand new messages. My understanding, and to be honest, I haven't sent any messages for several days. I haven't even tried, but my understanding and you guys can correct me, is on existing messages that already exist, those things seem to be fine, but it's the new initiation. Like if you wanted to start a brand new message, those are the ones that are seemingly dying, which tend to be the ones that people are trying to message through Oink because they're the ones that they've not chatted with before. So something is happening on the other side. Hey, what's up, Nutcracker? That was my nickname in high school. It was a long 5 years. Oh, interesting. You got a message from a brand and was able to respond. Yeah. I think that's because I think it was existing, Kathy. I think that's why the existing seems to be going through, but new ones are not going through. And so we just have to wait that out. But man, I got a ton. You know why I got a ton of tickets on that? Because it came out of the blue. Like it just hit out of the blue. And to be honest, I was actually pretty impressed how many people were using the Oink Messenger. Sometimes they release these features and I can't tell how widespread they actually get used. But I was partially I'm giggling at some of these. No, I told you so. I would never out loud. So we just have to wait this one out. There's nothing really we can do about it. I don't think that's attached to anything specifically related to behaviors. I mean, you can disable every extension you got, and there's not going to go through now. What did you say? Hold on a second, Steven. What did you say? Send in nuts, turtle. See? Dude, that's the smiles I need today. Oh, good. That's actually good news. But I've had my heart broken before here. So I'm going to guard it for the moment. All my messengers sent. So another one person says, no. New one too. All right. Hey, that's good news. Somebody find some wood and knock on it. Somebody just sent me a ticket on the help desk. I'm going to take a quick look. If it's another. Oh, good. No, it's Leslie. Leslie, I think are you in the chat too? I think you're in this chat somewhere. I thought I saw your name. Okay. So the reporting, let's talk about the reporting. Oh, thank you guys. A lot of confirmation there. So no, I told you so's because, Amazon's just kind of funny like that. It's hard predicting something like that. Although I will say the amount of grief that I've gotten on YouTube over the last couple of days about people kind of coming after me for like my predictions, like there's no proof of stuff. I'm like, I don't know. Australia is kind of a country that seems like that matters. So let me just do a little bit of backup on the reporting. There's a lot to kind of unpack. So, and I want to be blunt with you guys, and I want to be honest about some of the questions that I'm seeing popping up in the group too. So when it comes to the reporting, one of the things I've seen in the group is about emailing the reps and stuff. And I wanted to be careful about how I responded to that. And I want you guys to do it if it makes you feel better. But I also want to maybe temper your expectations of, one, the types of responses you're going to get. I think some of your responses are just going to be AI. I do truly believe that in most cases, the customer support for Amazon affiliates are designed to give you something that just satisfies you for the moment, but it's just to get you off the line. Kiki, I'm not sure I'm the king, but I am live. I appreciate that. So one of the comments I left about this is, if it makes you feel better to message them, then by all means, please do it. But I think what we have to keep in mind is this is a global changeover that's happening with this specific program. It's impacting us because the US is predominantly more involved with like creator connections, and there's an impact there. But every single affiliate in every single country is getting this. I mean, Australia got it first. I think UK got it today also. Neither of them have creator connections. We got it. US obviously got it today. So I think that just please temper your expectations. I don't want you guys to be disappointed whenever it stays the way that it is, because my guess is this was not done haphazardly. And there's a purpose behind this that, to be honest, I don't think has anything to do with like creator connections. To me, this is just, there's a big thing that's changing over with Amazon, and creator connections is just getting an impact. Obviously we get the impact there, but for them to reverse this, I think would be massive. I know somebody had referenced that there was the Creator Hub and Creator Studio. Remember that whole debacle whenever they tried to roll one of them out and it stunk butt, and then people complained and they rolled it back. People were using that as like we complained and got this switched. But I think that that was a US problem predominantly. So it wasn't a huge deal to change that back, because those other countries, I don't think, had that happen. They didn't get that other version that stunk butt. So, so first off, keep that in mind. Again, feel free if it makes you feel better. If you want to speak up, I'm never going to tell people don't. I think you have to, I just want to prepare you for who it is I think you're talking to on the other side, and just remind you that globally, even though we're feeling it in the US a lot, that this is a global initiative that Amazon is undertaking. And for them to not go through with this would require, probably in a sense, a global adjustment. Maybe not all at the same time, but it's possible. But I don't want to do predictions anymore, because YouTube hits me for that pretty good, the people. But I just keep that in mind, okay? Let me catch up with that. So yeah. Oh, so this was the AI, or they have no idea. I think it's a combination of both. Now, I think AI, I'm seeing what I feel like is more AI responses from them for sure. There you go. Make good stuff. It's always been a thing. What up, Ash? Extra Z's on there. I'm a fan. I don't know who's in charge of it, but maybe it's just what is it? The misery loves company. Maybe that's just where we're at. Is we're just hanging out, a bunch of people trying to deal with today. I don't care about Halo sales. What's interesting, Tiffany, is earlier I was going back. I'll leave that up while I'm answering this. Earlier I was talking about on another video about a guy that several people that I knew that actually didn't do Halo sales, and they're making significant money, significantly more than me, because it just wasn't part of their process. Like, they were just really tuned into like what they were doing. I'm actually running into more people that didn't make it a part of their process. And just like I was saying before about like how I'm shocked to see how many people actually use the messaging in Oink. I'm surprised anybody honestly uses anything that I make, but I'm surprised how many people have actually told me I didn't even do that particular thing. So that's an interesting point there. I appreciate you saying that. Amazon is going to Amazon. They do not care about as simple as that. Yeah, well, I think devil's advocate here, Jamie. I think they do, because it benefits them. You know what I mean? They're not doing it because they're sympathetic to us. They're not like, well, that poor Fizz and his posse of oinks. I mean, if it's making them money, they care about us. I think that's also probably why, we're seeing the sponsored products thing, which I think is going to have some interesting angles to it. It's not a replacement, because I don't think that they were tuned into the Halo sales thing. So it's not like they're trying to fix that. But, I think they're still trying to come up with ways for us to earn and them to make money. So I think that's where the relationship's at. If it benefits them, then they care, type of deal. But so I think that I'd give you some of that for sure, Jamie. Hey, yeah. So this is something I was going to mention anyway. So I'll be honest with people, is, when I built Oink, there was no daily sales. And I talked about this in one of my videos. I made my first 10K before daily sales as an Amazon influencer, before Creator Connections, really. Daily sales has only been around, I think I discovered it probably 6 months ago, as far as finding the report and be able to put it into an extension and all that. So the people that don't know the Amazon influencer program outside of that are going to be people that are new, first off, predominantly. But you guys just got to remember, first, the tool was not supposed to be a Halo sales tool. And if you've listened to my other videos, you've heard me say over and over again, the point of this program is not Halo sales. And this is not, I'm trying not to do the I told you so. But I didn't make it to be a Halo sales tool. I created Oink, that if you wanted to be an Amazon influencer and grow a scalable storefront, then I can show you how to do it, and Oink can help you do it. And so the people that are saying, well, what's the point now? That tells me that they had put way too much focus into that, or that's the only reason that they signed up. And to be honest, you probably shouldn't have it anymore. I'd probably go ahead and cancel it, because I set this thing up to be a tool for people to grow a sustainable storefront. And if that wasn't your goal from the beginning, and it was just to have this thing, then it's not going to be of value to you anymore, because you're not there for the storefront. You were there for the Halo sales. And I don't want to say the free money or the easy money, but you were there for probably not the purpose that I've been trying to preach, and why I made the tool to start with. 5 to 10 videos a day, you're going to have another 300 videos at the end of the month. Good for you. You would talk about the needle moving, that right there. You know, I told somebody not long ago that one of the things in this program that I never see fail, like if you do want to create a strong storefront, if you want to get to your first 10K month, regardless of creator connections, regardless of Halo sales, there's a common trait that I see amongst all the big timers, even if their strategies are different, and it's consistency. I have never seen consistency fail somebody in this program. If somebody is consistent with it, even if they're awful at it, the consistency will sort of like suss that out over time, and they'll look around and go like, this feels like I'm doing something wrong. And the consistency will shine the light in the right direction. So that I think that's fantastic what you're doing right there. Love seeing that. What up, Riley? I'm gonna get back to the reporting stuff here in just a second. I'm just kind of trying to catch up. Oh no. Oh no. Question. Is it weenies with 2 E's, or should there be another I in there? Or is this a slang weenie? Steven, you know about weenies. Why don't you answer that question? Waiting for that one. Yeah, I'll get to any thoughts reported. Yeah, I'll get to that here in just a second, okay? I never had a Halo sale. Hey, look, here's another one. Nope, nothing else. Well, the reporting has changed. And to be honest, I haven't had a chance to really look at the implementation of it today. You know, the biggest change here is tell you, let me work through these and I'll circle back, because I'm sure there's a couple other questions that are going to be specifically for this for the same thing. Okay. Let me see. Use it daily, Rob. Nice. Going through here. My Halo is maybe 10%. That's it. Well, and Mike, I'll tell you, this was one of the things I said in my video last week, that, you know, if Creator Connections continues to grow and we hit 1 million campaigns this year, like the amount of opportunity that's in that is bonkers. Like for people that are willing to like commit to the process. You know, again, I made my first 10K before Creator Connections was really a thing. If I had Creator Connections back then, why, Jefferson Bezos, why are you doing this to me? And I want to give you guys a story here real quick too. 5 years in, always change and make more videos. How I survive. Good. Billy Thorpe's out here. He's living. He's been through some stuff. 5 years. He knows. It's all about rolling with the punches and knowing that change is coming. We're an Amazon sandbox. And whatever happens, you just got to keep going. As long as the program's still open, we can make money. And by the way, I do have a couple of features that are here on the way. And I'm going to talk about a couple of things. I'm sorry. I know you guys are asking a lot of questions. I'm going to skip down, guys. So I'm not because I don't love you, because 100 people in here now, and I want to get to some of this stuff too. So this will probably answer some of you guys' questions. Okay, so what do we do with this reporting now? I mean, now that Halo sales is gone, or at least seems like it is, I don't see a path forward here with the method that we've been doing. One is, I've had multiple questions today saying, well, is there a workaround? And I think that the straight answer is no. That keep in mind how that process worked. It was based off of seeing what people ordered in real time, so you could get a campaign for it before it shipped. And that's why it was so powerful. You can't see any orders anymore. Like, so I think this, like the straight answer to that is, there a workaround? Like, you can't get orders. Full stop, period. And that's sort of the end of it. So technically, no. There's obviously the thing that I talked about in the group, where I think you're going to see people start to try to accept all 600,000 campaigns and try to keep up with that every single day, which I think I'm not going to touch that at all, because I think Amazon will eventually start flagging that stuff. And because what happens, I've talked about this, is if that starts to happen, remember, these campaigns only allow 800 people to join them. They're not infinite space campaigns. And so what will happen is that if people start accepting everything, no campaign is going to make it to the bronze and silver people. You're just never going to see it again, because they're all going to get scooped up by automations from people that aren't going to even make money off of those things at the top. So that's one. That's an option, but nobody that I know is going to be touching that. And I know a lot of people that are ballers. There might be some ballers out there that are going to, but I don't think they're going to risk their account for that. So the other alternative would be to try to predict, well, what's going to sell, what might sell, and try to start accepting campaigns based off of that. But that's a crapshoot too, right? To try to go like, well, if this refrigerator, if I have a video for this refrigerator, I'll accept all refrigerator campaigns. It's just a total one is you can't find all the refrigerator campaigns because there's a bunch of them, right? You'll never be able to do that. So that's a bit of a crapshoot. The closest thing that I think that we can do that is safe and that I think is actually scalable and that is strategic is there's a feature in the extension that didn't get a lot of attention called the content gap. And the reason it didn't get a lot of attention is because the daily sales came right after it and it basically made it a non-factor. But hear me out on this, okay, guys? What the content gap does, and this is on the storefront. If you go to your storefront, if you click other actions at the top, you go to content gap. There's a storefront content gap and a order history content gap. We're talking about storefront content gap. And what that will do is, and I'll automate all of this, is it'll pull your sales reports that you've earned. Again, orders is gone. So every day is like, what are my new earnings for today? And you'll take those because you know what's on your earnings, your direct content and your indirect content. And so the indirect is where you're kind of like your new Halo sales is going to come from. And so every day you'll run this just like you'll run the check today's sales, except it'll be check today's earnings. And those indirect products that you don't have any content for that you're getting commission for in the Amazon Influencer Program, those will be set up for auto accept. And as I've thought about this thing over and over again, to me, one, it's not just trying to throw this giant net and just, I hope I catch some extra stuff, because you're trying to, at that point, just hold on to something that is obviously in our rearview mirror. But if we take the extra reports that we're getting and the earnings we're actually getting and use the content gap and go, okay, people ordered this today. It's directly related to one of my videos or one of my products. There's a chance they're going to order it again. And so you accept that campaign if there's a campaign for it. That's what I'm going to be doing. That's my path forward on everything, is the content gap. It's going to be just like a new daily check for you guys. It's not going to obviously find all those things that we were finding in the carts before. That data doesn't exist anymore, but you're not going to waste a bunch of time trying to accept every refrigerator campaign, just guessing. And so that's the alternative. So that's a long answer to a short question of, are there workarounds? No, there is nothing that can get you the thing that you were getting before, unless you start accepting every campaign. And then my personal belief is that's going to put accounts in jeopardy, because Amazon is not going to let Creator Connections go under, because people are trying to hold on to their daily sales thing and accepting every campaign. And then all of a sudden you think brands were not happy before? Wait till they find out that nobody bronze or silver seeing their campaigns anymore, because everybody's auto accepting them as soon as they're released. So that's my advice, guys, is that don't look for a workaround. Doesn't really exist. Don't just try to throw these really big blankets out and just all accept all refrigerators, all the remote control cars, whatever. The amount of time and effort you're going to spend, I think, doing that, even if it doesn't take you a lot of time, just your focus, I think you're going to be better served actually working with the data that you've got that actually is more likely to lead you to sales. I'll stop right there. I'll try to catch up on some stuff here. Hey, you guys are always so kind to me. Whenever I started the Facebook group, I really wanted it to just be full of people that were like helpful to each other. And the amount of times people check on me. Thank you, sir. Jamie, why? That is a great question. and again, I'm sorry if I'm missing questions and comments for you guys. Let me hit this real quick. I think that the video that I made for this, there's a new button that I added on the upload screen that says upload in Creator Hub or Creator Studio or something like that. So whenever you go to upload it, I know you can't tag it there, but click that button that says upload in the Creator Hub and upload it there. If it's in the idea list, you can tag it there in the idea list. You can't tag it in the idea list. And look, the excluded product thing is an absolute mess. But if you can't figure it out, drop me a note, okay? But I got some thoughts on that whole thing. Okay, so Jamie has any idea why? No, I don't. And just pure theoretical stuff. I mean, there's just like a massive change with Amazon and what they're trying to do. This is why the PA API changed at the exact same time. This is why it seems to be a global initiative for them. I mean, they've got numbers that are crunching that I think they want to start pushing more and more off-site. I think that that's what a lot of this is really kind of related to. I mean, the sponsored products specifically, it's all about links now. They don't want to show you orders. Orders isn't really showing you what you drove traffic to. You know what I mean? So I think really everything kind of comes back to that again. I'm not trying to hypothesize too much, but that's my sort of guess. Well, can we hug while we cry? Sticks and stones may break, but Amazon will always hurt me. I'm gonna tell Sir Bezos that you're besmirching. Hey, Grandpa, how you doing? Just listening in. Well, appreciate you being here. I get excluded items to upload in the old hub all the time. Who knows? Yeah, Billy, it's man, I just don't know. I had a supplement that I had the other day, because I do a lot of weird stuff. I had a testosterone booster supplement, and it was on the excluded list. So I had to do the workaround for it. And then I turned around and do another testosterone booster, and it was fine. I can imagine like some of these brands are excited. I think about like Avid Love. You guys might not see this as much as me because I do a lot of the adult products, but I used to see a lot of Avid Love daily sales, and all that stuff is locked down. So my concern there is honestly, we can still get it to work right now, but it says up there at the bar that it's not eligible for commission or something like that. My concern is at some point they actually cut that off. So for me, because I did a lot of adult products, I'm going to stop doing those. I think, unless they're paying me well up front, because I'm concerned that there's going to be a point where the commissions are just going to go and they're going to fall. Or maybe I'll just keep doing it until that point. I don't know exactly yet. I'm sort of confused, to be honest with you. I mean, there's obviously something happening there too, right? At this exact same time, certain categories that people might find offensive, the gun stuff, the hunting stuff, the plastic booty stuff, all that stuff. Something has happened certainly at some level that this restructuring is it's not coincidental to me. I think that it's all at the same time. The intern had to come up with work. The AI interns, I think. Well, I think that's possible, but my opinion is none of these changes have anything to do with creator connections. To me, it has everything to do with, because again, the other countries that got hit with this don't have creator connections at all. And so, Australia got it a couple months before the US did. So although that could be true, the fact that those other ones are also getting the exact same sort of implementation of it, I think that creator connections is just getting an impact. There's a side impact. I do think that sellers were probably not real happy with some of the creator connection setup. I actually also think that's why Amazon is continuing to push certain things into gold and platinum tier stuff, is because they're trying to really give brands, I don't want to call the best influencers, because that certainly wouldn't be accurate just because you're gold or platinum, but I think they're trying to incentivize, one, influencers to continue to work up to those levels, but two, tell those brands to get them to buy in. Like, you'll kind of know who you're participating with based off of like the access that they have to you. 100% right. And let me tell you guys a story here too, if I can. I lost a $5,000 a month blog a couple of years ago. And you guys, some of you know this. That was my first foray into like doing stuff online. And I started a health and fitness blog, and I killed it. I mean, I killed it for a newbie. It was all Amazon links. It was actually, I was really good at it, and I enjoyed it. And then because I was in Google's Playground, Google changed the way that their ranking algorithms worked, and I lost all my traffic. I probably make $150 on it now a month, or $200. And the only reason I mention that is, one, is yes, you do have to remember that we're always playing in somebody else's sandbox. But two, like, you just keep going. You know what I mean? If you take a hit, luckily we're in a situation here where this is a piece and not even a primary piece of what the Amazon influencer and affiliate programs are. And so, like, it's not like the program isn't here anymore, but it's just, I think it's important to remember that changes come whenever you're playing in somebody else's playground or in their sandbox, and you just keep going. And there's still, like I said, and I know there's several people in this chat I know for a fact. And Billy, I'm going to presume the fact that you're in here for 5 years, that you've done well in this program. You did well before Halo Sales and Creator Connections. And so the people that are around that feel like, I don't know what this world looks like without it, totally get it. You're probably newer to the program, totally get that. But trust it from some of the OGs here that we saw it prior. Do you think there's a way to increase CC some since dropping today's sales? Is it so Sarah? Yeah, I mean, so the content gap, as you may have heard me talk about before, I think for me, that's going to be what I'm pivoting to. And ultimately what it's going to be. Now, remember, guys, if we get really honest, if we get super honest, what does Amazon want from us out of these programs? I mean, we can get strategic and try to pick our certain products based off how many videos and how many sales they got. But really, at its core, if we really get down to the nitty gritty, the thing that they want from us is to find a product that we can get people to buy. And like, that's sort of it. And that's how that we would look at making money, right? So if you're looking at making shoppable videos, remember, it's the Amazon influencer program. We have to give them our socials to even get into the program. Their expectation is that we can drive or create traffic in some particular way. And so for me, when we ask questions maybe like this, that's where my brain probably goes. It's not about necessarily finding another way to see like what money is on the table. And certainly if there's money on the table and I can find it for you guys, I'll find it and I'll put it back in your pockets. But I think that the key is for growth going forward, seeing sort of the initiatives I think here that Amazon has in place, it's very sort of link driven. I think it's really starting to look at, one, can you actually create sales through the content that you create, either by your videos being awesome and converting really well, or by posting links offsite and driving traffic to Amazon. So that for me is probably the actual right answer there. Again, I think that, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but you have been saying to increase CC some, since we're losing this other thing. I think you're asking making money off of the stuff we've kind of already got going on. And I think that I don't think as much about that at this point, because I feel like I see sort of where Amazon's going, and my focus probably starts to convert to, I want that stuff, don't get me wrong, and I want it for you guys, and I'll find it if I can find it, is to start going like, for this to grow, for me to go from where I'm at now to go to double it from here is what I'd like to do. I like to hit 50 a month at some point. Is to go like, okay, I mean, we all like to do that. Is to go, I need to continue to kind of focusing in on the thing that matters the most. And the stuff that I've talked about on my channels here, guys, is, I've said, look, if you want to grow in this program, there's one path forward on this. And it's creating new content consistently on products that are converting. Like, that's it. That is the bread and butter on all of it. If you can focus on that and become consistent on that, that's where anything additional is going to come from. And this is why I said earlier on my video last week that I got scorned for on YouTube for making predictions, is I actually think that if Creator Connections does grow and Amazon can get sellers to buy into Creator Connections, and we can get up to like 1 million campaigns, I think that we're going to out earn through the opportunity that comes through that what we were making in the daily sales stuff. Not predicting. I don't want anybody to think I'm predicting. I'm going to catch heat for doing too much predicting. Okay, so let me go back to the report stuff real quick. Okay. Actually, I forgot what I was going to say. So yeah. So it's not showing very much stuff on there. I know a lot of you guys are reporting this, and this was also what I said was happening on my last video, and people told me I didn't have any proof that you can't see anything, apparently, as far as like the sales go, or like, or even what's selling, that there's like, seems like there's a threshold where it has to have a certain number of clicks before you can actually see it. I think for me, I get really concerned for offsite people, especially for this, because I know a lot of offsite people were using that sort of daily list, not for the daily sales part necessarily, but because it helped them plan what they're going to be posting today. They can get a feel for like what's selling, and they can start planning based off of that, and not losing that. The influencer side doesn't really do that. We don't use that for strategy per se. But apparently visibility is just really, really bad. And I don't get it. somebody asked this earlier. I'm sure maybe multiple people, multiple people. Hold on a second. Hey, hey, have I told you guys the story where I lit my legs on fire trying to burn plastic butts in my backyard? I'll get to that. Somebody remind me by the end of this video. I'll tell you the story of the scars that I have on my leg from trying to burn these stupid plastic butts that these people have been sending me. Swear to God, 100% true story. I got scars on both my legs from this. Imagine me on fire knowing that I did it because plastic butts caught me. Okay. And why I have to burn them to start with. I forgot what I was saying. So yeah, anyways, so visibility is really bad. It's just going to change, I think, the way that we have to like kind of approach what it is that we're doing here. And again, they stripped a lot of stuff away from us, but it still leaves us with always what Amazon really kind of wants from us anyways. Is like, look, guys, Amazon says, if I'm Jefferson Bezos, I'm just like, look, you have an audience that you've built, find products that you think that they'll like and show it to them. And see if you can create sales, if you can drive traffic. And that still is the program. That is what we've gotten very strategic with it, certainly. And we've gotten good at strategy, right? Tools have helped us, knowledge has helped us, etc. But that thing is still there. And this feels to me very much like a sort of a recentering towards that. The visibility doesn't make a lot of sense for us with the way that we've done the program. But I'm not sure that it's really so far out of whack for kind of what Amazon designed all the programs and stuff to be. Not to say that I'm thrilled about it, but that's sort of like, that's kind of how I'm feeling about it right now. Anyways, I could be, you feel me. Hey, and I'll be honest, Jamie, sometimes I still look at the analytics hoping that I'm going to come back in someday and it's going to like do a thing again, only to be disappointed now for going on its third year. CC, hey, and you know what? I slept on CC at the beginning. Whenever I said I made my first 10K in a month, I think like $300 of that was part of Creator Connections. And I told my buddy Jared actually early on, I remember going, hey, because you guys remember at some point, we didn't even know that Creator Connections applied to the Amazon Influencer Program, that it applied to on-site video. And then I remember I was in a group, I think it was the IPX group I was in, and somebody mentioned this at one point and said, hey, it works for that. And I was like, hold on a second. What do you mean it works for that? And then other people jumped in. They said, no, it doesn't. And then like they had chat support, because chat, customer support is always so great. Customer support was like, no, it doesn't. And people were like, tell that to my like earnings sheet. And so for months, all of a sudden we were like, we're in. So we started to get those campaigns earning, and the whole time customer support's like, it doesn't work for on-site. And to be honest, it wasn't until like August of this year that Amazon finally put on-site into the actual on paper conversation with Creator Connections. It was one of their last reporting or documentation things in like August-ish. And so they finally accepted it. It only took them a year and a half to finally get on the same page that it worked. Let's see here. Oh, perfect. Good news. So any of you guys that are hearing that, if you have an excluded product and you can't get the Idealist workaround to work, you can do it through the Creator Hub or Creator Studio. I can't remember which one it is. You can upload it through there, and you can use it from the Idealist there. Okay. To be honest, Maggie, it is, because again, whenever I sort of created it, the daily sales thing, I found that pretty much shortly thereafter, which made that other thing sort of null and void, because the content gap is sort of like, well, here's what's already happened, so you can try to predict what's going to happen going forward. And then the daily sales showed you like literally what just happened right now. And so we could accept those campaigns. So I didn't really put any more effort into the Creator Connect or the content gap thing, but I'll have to now, right? So yes, I'll do the pictures and the Idealist there too. Hold on a second. You trying to tell me that your house and your truck fit into a 16-foot enclosed trailer push-all? That's actually really cool, Cheryl. Although, to be clear, I think you have a picture of a doghouse in your profile picture, I think. And I'm going to presume that's not your house. It might be. If it is, I'm happy for you. But I just think it's funny that you said I bought my house and you're on a doghouse or a cat house of some sort. Thank you guys for jumping on tonight. Thank you for this job is very isolating for me. I deal with a lot of like customer support tickets and weird sort of like one hitters, like, and And so I appreciate the humanity behind these conversations. Yes, there is, but sort of the same story with the other stuff. I haven't really touched it in a while. It still works the exact same, to be honest with you. Hold on a minute. Oops, sorry. I can actually probably pull this real quick. I'm going to guess this is the updated one from October 1st, 2025. I'm going to drop this into the chat if you guys want it. And I'll be posting more about it in the group, certainly. And keep in mind, remember, this isn't going to get you what the daily sales thing caught you, right? The idea here is sort of like the report that you get now is going to be your earnings report. And I'll have to make sure that earnings report works here because to be honest, I haven't looked at it to see if it's formatted differently yet. I'll fix it if it is. But what I'm going to do is I'll automate the pulling of the report just like the daily sales did, and the report's going to have everything you earned, direct content and indirect content. And it's that indirect content that we're going to be looking for campaigns for. We've already got the direct content because we do the storefront cross check. So we've already got that, but we're looking for the indirect content, which we are actually selling, which might actually have campaigns associated to them. But I don't want people to go like, this isn't nearly what the daily hit sales thing. Like, there will be nothing like that again, I think. But again, this is gonna be my my strategy going forward. So I mentioned sales with only 4 points. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know, one, if that's actually what it's going to be full-time going forward, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, why would they do that unless it's just saving them server space or something? I don't know what's going on. I don't get that. I've seen a couple of like similar questions like this, and I just don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, you can still make the exact same amount. It's maybe a little bit harder to strategize, right? But look, I hardly ever do any strategy. To be honest, I just work every day and I kind of keep moving forward. I don't look like at a lot of reporting personally, and I don't kind of whatever. And so the visibility certainly isn't there, but that doesn't mean that you can't still make good quality video. If you're an influencer, make good quality videos on products that are converting. It doesn't mean you can't post offsite to your groups on products that can actually sell well. So I actually think that the money making opportunity, as far as those things go, even though the visibility seems goofy, the opportunity is still there. It's just sort of going to be like, well, how do you know which products you're actually going to promote now, right? And I think that especially for offsite people more so than the onsite people, that's going to be something sort of interesting. So yeah, I don't, to be honest, I don't know. We'll have to kind of let some of this, I think, sit on us, and people, to be honest, the community, you guys will start figuring out some things like I can't figure out, that I haven't been able to figure out yet. And, you guys have done a great job of that within the groups themselves. Like, if you come up with something or something that seems like it makes sense, of throwing it out there, and maybe it actually sticks. But I think with a change of this girth, careful, Stephen, I think it's going to take us a little bit of time to sort of absorb what this is. I think we have to be careful not to carry too much over from like where we're coming from and try to make it apply to this new thing that we're in too. Like, it's because it's just not going to, the mentality side's not going to work the same way with this. I think we have to kind of come into it with the knowledge of understanding how these programs work and sort of being fed this new plate of information it is new information in a sense. It's less, but it's still new. So I think some of it's just we're gonna have to like let it sit on us for a little bit. Again, Stephen, careful, sit on this part. Chris, my prediction: Amazon's going to emphasize offsite more and more. If you're not building offsite, I tend to agree. I think so, man. It's again, take a step back if people would, and just, if we're being brutally honest, the Amazon influencer program, again, as I said before, you have to supply an offsite thing to get in. They haven't enforced anything with that, so it's made it so that you can get in with an offsite and not do anything offsite, and you've still been able to earn. And I don't necessarily think that's going to change. I just think that a lot of their systems are, again, as we kind of are seeing here, as Chris is pointing out, I think that our systems are just kind of starting to turn us back towards that focus. Doesn't mean that anything is going away with the influencer program, but I think that the focus for Amazon certainly seems to be headed this direction. Yeah, so it depends on your strategy, right? Like I said, offsite especially does that a lot more. And to be honest, people that are more organized than me, that are, but look, I've done really well in depending on, again, which side you're on. It's hard. I mean, you might have a 500,000 Facebook group that my money might be small potatoes to you. I don't know, but I've done well as an Amazon influencer with. I typically just don't look at a lot of numbers. outside of like product research, right? And not from reports, just from looking on Amazon and looking on Creator Connections. You know, I'm looking for product opportunity. I don't typically look too much like what's sold a lot or anything like that, because it's kind of happened already in the past type of deal. I mean, maybe a little bit I look, but it hasn't really been a big emphasis for me. So certainly the way that your strategy has been up to this point will certainly impact some people more than others. That's it every day. Money making, make more videos on products that are selling. That's my asterisk there. My caveat. Make more videos on products that are selling. Absolutely. I haven't looked at it yet. I did see it whenever it rolled out, and I couldn't look at it twice. So, and to be honest, I was getting so many messages, I couldn't do it. Omar, do you have any data on what percentage of Link users are international Amazon and whether or not they perform? I don't, Omar. I don't really keep track. I mean, I don't have any way to keep track really of one, all of your data that you're doing within the extension as far as like who you are. I don't have access to any of that. So like it's all localized to your computer. The only thing that I have is like if you're a pro subscriber, that like your payment information, and I don't even think that puts your location on it. So, and so many people are doing cross platform now. You know, if you're in the US, you do UK, and if you're in the UK, you do Canada. So I don't really have a way to be able to determine that. And so sorry, man, I don't. 2 points away from goal. My plan was this week. Am I delusional now? Get back to us by the end of the week. Here's your answer. I mean, probably not. I don't think so. I don't think so. Which, by the way, speaking of getting into gold, some of you might find this interesting. Apparently, I didn't know there was a thing called early gold. Did you guys know about early gold? And here's how I found out about this. There's a pretty decent amount of gold people that still don't have access to sponsored products. And every single person that I have talked to that doesn't have access to sponsored products that's gold is actually early gold. So if you're regular gold, I have not seen a situation yet where you don't have the access. But if you're early gold, it seems like you may not have the access yet. I had somebody this week send me a ticket wanting to fix it. And I was like, I can't. I'd like to. There's Leah. But yes, but the sales you actually see, but those are the types of products you are good at. This new reporting actually cuts a lot of the noise and allows you to focus on where you make the most sales. Leah, I appreciate you saying that because that's an interesting point. You know, one of the things I think with like the Halo sales thing is it diluted the water a little bit on like what you're actually good at. You know, because you couldn't tell a lot of times one where those extra sales were actually coming from. They just were kind of showing up. And so this is a kind of a similar thing that's been on my shoulders here a little bit of like, there's one of the silver linings to this is it allows for like, I think a refocusing and a recentering on your business and like actually like being strategic with it. Halo sales was like a big net you could just sort of throw, but we couldn't really pinpoint how it was happening. You know what I mean? I mean, we knew it was coming from our content somewhere. So I appreciate you bringing that kind of the same point up there too, because I'm wording it better than it was in my brain. That's a good point. That's against AP. Robert, don't. I'm not. As soon as somebody says lube, I'm off of that in a heartbeat. Programming is such a blessing. I'm with you. It's and like I said, several people here have been in the program for a long time. You know, Leah, Steven, there's multiple, Billy, a lot of you guys. I don't know, I'm missing a bunch of you. There's been Chris, been for a while too, and you know, we got in it because of the opportunity that was there that Amazon afforded to us, and I'm totally with you. I feel like showing the orders because Amazon. Well, this is a thing that I've often heard too, and I don't necessarily. It can. That's true. If they wanted to do that, it's true. From my perspective, I'll be honest. I never was one of those people that was going back through trying to find out if I had payments missing. Now maybe that's on me and I missed stuff, but I sort of felt like that at some point Amazon was going to be doing Amazon stuff and a sale here and there that I wasn't overly concerned about. If it was more than that, I would have picked up on it on the on my overall numbers. I would have felt them start to go down. So I'm not saying that certainly my approach is the right one. Just from my perspective, this one to me doesn't feel as impactful, like on a one or two basis, because I felt like that was always sort of possible. it would be more impactful certainly if it was on a larger scale, right? And then you didn't have any visibility. That does become certainly a problem. I don't disagree with you on that. Yeah, Grandpa. Hey, look, Grandpa's been working it. I've been seeing Grandpa's name here and there, had a ticket here and there, a Facebook post here and there. Again, consistency. I mean, there's people that are willing to put the time into it and touch it every day. Steven, don't do it. There's opportunity in this program, absolutely. All right. I'm just going to kind of scroll down. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize what was kind of happening. Control the controllables. So a couple more thoughts here for you guys. I don't want to ever come across like that it doesn't stink to not have this. I totally get it. Impact to me is the same as it is to you as far as, the percentage probably that stuff we see an immediate decrease. But again, maybe if I could just recenter back that did not even exist 6 months ago. And it was an opportunity where we saw money on the table that we could put into our pocket, that Amazon said we qualified for it. And we said, thank you. And so that a lot of us, we saw that very much as, wow, this is really cool. I hope this lasts forever. But if not, we get it because we knew life sort of before that. And if you don't know life before that, if you got into the program over the last 6 months, I realize this might be harder for you guys to understand what this program actually is. But the program is not Halo sales. Amazon Influencer Program, if people got into it because of Halo sales, unfortunately, you got into it for the wrong reason, because that was not supposed to be that. It was supposed to be about, as Amazon says, creating content, whether it's on-site or off-site, that drives traffic. And that was just sort of like a bonus that we were getting. And that's not to belittle you or your strategy. I just want you to know that that now as you're sort of looking around, without that, you're probably looking at a more pure program now without it, because we have, as Leah was saying, because now it forces us to refocus sort of back on the thing that Amazon intended for a lot of these things to be. And yeah. Jennifer says, do I ever discuss tax? I don't, because of the legal implications with taxes. And there's a lot of stuff I can talk about with like strategy and creator connections and like getting samples and all that stuff. But whenever it comes to that stuff, I don't touch any of it. My only recommendation that I ever say to people is hire a person. Like that's my number one recommendation. And whatever, if you feel comfortable with their plan for you going forward on how to approach that, then do that. But I don't put myself in them, partially because my brother is a CPA, and like I feel very sort of protective of, and feel like that's where my trust is at for that type of stuff. And so that's my best recommendation. Again, more so because of the legal consequences of taxes. I just don't feel like it's my place to be able to give any sort of advice regarding taxes. I feel like it's like if I was going to give you advice on law, like even though I kind of have a sense of some stuff, I just probably go, you probably should talk to a lawyer. So I typically do not. And I've kind of tried to ask people in the groups not to talk about it too much, to be honest, because I just don't want it to be a place where, because somebody, look, different doctors can operate different way and be successful. Different tax people can do. Different people have different opinions about stuff. I think it's just best in these cases to hire a professional to make sure that it gets done right. When the program first started, it was almost all offsite. They didn't have an on-site video option. Yeah, and on-site eventually shows up using off-site credentials. Like it's essentially the step sibling of the off-site, using that to basically put you into the program. And again, I think that looking at things just as raw as possible, the fact that they did require us to have a social off-site to qualify probably means that at some point, Amazon felt like there was a good chance that we had an audience that we could drive to our storefronts or whatever the case was. And then they eventually putting on-site videos on the products, which was a way to earn, which is a great way to earn. But, there's, if you read between the lines, I think here a little bit, you don't even have to look super hard. I think you can see a lot of Amazon's intentions with how a lot of these things were set up then, and now sort of like what we're looking at now. And they seem to be pretty similar to each other. There you go. That's, I'm with you there. Let me see here. I get emails to make sure. Pinterest is going to be interesting. I'll be honest. I introduced that Pinterest thing last week. I'm getting views on it, but I can't get any clicks yet. But I'm not good at Pinterest. Like, so I'm actually looking. I've been watching the conversations in the group from people that are good at Pinterest, because I think Pinterest is interesting with the sponsored clicks thing specifically. I think that's going to be a really, I mean, with sponsored clicks, look, I'm earning money on my off-site stuff. I mean, I'm not going to go spend it all in one place, but I think I've earned like 20 bucks on it so far over like the last week and a half or 2 weeks, but I'm not even really trying to utilize it. But that's money that on stuff I was kind of already posting anyway. So, but I am very intrigued with the Pinterest, and to be honest, I'm intrigued with how sponsored products is going to get used everywhere. What happened to the creator rewards? I used to get those all the time. I don't see them. Oh, yeah, I think, yeah, now that you kind of say that, I'm going to take a look too. I think you mean like the things you could opt into? That's actually a good point. I don't remember, or maybe I'm in one. I don't remember. Is anybody in? Don't, I mean, maybe you don't tell me. I don't know. On the promotion, creator rewards. I'm in one apparently. So, but you're right. I think this one's been going on for, this one's been going on for a couple months. I haven't seen anything new since then. You're right. Usually you'd see a kind of a random one, kind of a stray come in from time to time, and not seeing a lot of those lately. It's a good point. To be honest, not necessarily surprising with all the other changes. Again, PA API and on the way down. Yeah. I was editing and that's interesting. And I was editing. I noticed I started saying, you know, a lot. And I was like, where did that come from? Because I didn't say it before, but you say it. I've watched too much of your content. I say that. And you know what the other thing I say a lot is? Right. I've realized watching myself back that I say, right. I go, yeah, right. And I got that from a podcast video thing that I used to watch in real estate a long time ago. One of those guys always said right. At the time, I kept thinking, man, the guy says right all the time. And now I'm in the same boat. Is Oink messaging template gone? No, I haven't touched anything with the template stuff. Maybe refresh your browser sometimes if you're sitting in a stale Chrome thing. If not, drop me a message on the, hey, and by the way, guys, I have had a lot of tickets come in to the help desk over the course of the past week, and I'm trying to really kind of keep up with those things. And if you send me a message on Facebook, that's sort of like secondary for me right now, because I have more tickets coming in on the, so if you do have a problem, or if you see somebody on the groups that say that they messaged me or whatever, and I didn't respond, I'm still trying to push things over in that direction, and I'm still training the AI on correct answers and things like that. But or if we chat and I lose track of it, again, apologies for that. There's sin. Hey, I was wondering if part of this was because so many people were complaining, thinking that they shouldn't have, but I don't think so. I mean, maybe, again, I don't know for sure, but my gut is because the way that you're referring to that is very much a US problem predominantly. And because they implemented this starting in Australia, which doesn't have Creator Connect, I mean, you might be right, but because this is a global initiative, a global sort of rollover that they're doing, this thing feels very much US specific to me. Now, it's possible that it happened in the US and everybody else is getting punished for it, but my gut says probably not. I do think that there were probably brands that were from some of the sellers that I've talked to that were sort of like, hey, where's my campaigns are getting eaten up and I'm not getting any content, but I'm paying out money. Like, what's the deal? And because Amazon removed that, that actually brings up an interesting point. All right, guys. So here's maybe one of the last things I'll talk about. What's going to happen next with Creator Connections and the messaging thing? Or not the messaging thing, the reporting stuff, whenever it comes to campaigns and accepting campaigns, etc. I think that we're probably looking at a point where, with this new refocusing on links from Amazon, I think there's a chance that we see a re-implementation soon of the link required thing. I'm not sure that went over real well with brands. We loved it, but I think that there's a possibility of that. I also think that, and I mentioned this on my video, again, people are going to get on me for trying to be a prophet, but I also think that there's a possibility that I think Amazon's also going to start getting serious about limiting how many campaigns brands can make. I think they're not going to limit them to one, because they still need brands to be interested. But for some of these brands to have 13,000 campaigns, it doesn't make any sense. Balloons. And so I think that they might limit that. And then I think they might also get around to where they change how Creator Connections actually awards compensation. I think that's on the table too. I mean, if they're refocusing everything on links, I could see Creator Connections ultimately going to specifically linked products. So in other words, links, because right now you can see, again, direct and indirect content. You can see what's not getting clicks. And I think that there's a possibility that down the road we could see that from Amazon as well, of just going only the things that you drive clicks for, just like the sponsored products program came out. You have to actually click on it to make money. I think there's a possibility that on the Creator Connection side that we could see a move towards that too, where only the things that get clicks actually can convert, which would mean either content that's truly on your storefront or stuff that you post off site, but indirect. I can see that being a thing too, or limiting how many campaigns. I mean, there's a lot of different places we can go. I'm speculating. That's never goes over well. Party who? That's correct. That's correct. I like you did the red balloon, like the it clown. What's that? Pennywise. I do too. I do my links too. I think it's just good practice, and it's a doorway to talk to these brands. You know, like brands are getting a million messages a day that go, "Hey, give me all your stuff. I want it." But that's not like a collaboration. That's just like you sending stuff out. But I think that if you can show them, like, hey, I know you guys want these links. Guess what? I just gave you one, baby. Want to do some stuff? And by the way, here's the other thing: is you can actually see, if you knew where to look, you can see how many people opt into these campaigns. So each campaign holds 800 people. Like predominantly, I mean, now it's probably going to change. It's going to increase, but usually what I see is probably a 10 to 15% link submission rate on these. So in other words, if you have 100 people that sign up for the campaign, 10 to 15 will actually submit content. So it's like 85 to 90 people don't. It's a pretty big number. Now, max, times that by 8, and it's just not a lot of content. So I don't think brands are real thrilled with this either. Please update the Agent Oink to let us select multiple keywords and price. So Maggie, here's the problem. Price isn't possible, I don't think. And here's why. I looked at this. I did look at this. So the problem with I don't know. It's still not very good. I get the point. Multiple keywords is also kind of tough. I have had this request also. And by the way, I appreciate the interest in Agent Oink. I appreciate you guys using it. This is just version 1. I appreciate requests like this because they make me sort of think about reject the word. That would be, and if we can reject the word like in the campaign. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like by a specific type of product. So the problem is the way that information is delivered, there's not a lot of information delivered up front. So, when you're looking at a Creator Connections campaign, all that Oink can see is like what products are in that campaign and like the end date and stuff like that, but it can't see the specifics for those products. So it can't see the price or anything like that. Just on that main page, it's just the ASINs. Now, of course, whenever you click into the details, you can see all that stuff, but that's not the way that the main page works. You can't see any of that stuff from the main page where all those things are at. And so the only way to get the price is to actually make a call to the product. Well, let me think about it. Get me out of this week. Get me out of this weekend. This week. Oh my God, this is Monday. I just said this weekend. Not a good sign. Let me think about it. Appreciate the nod there, Grandpa, about the messaging. Who's ready to hear my plastic butt catching me on fire story? Let me see. I'll save it for another day. Yeah, well, Grandpa, I think that this is what happens if your Chrome session goes stale. And as a reminder, I'll keep trying to remind you guys, it's a good idea to restart Chrome every day or every couple of days because you can technically get a Chrome session that goes stale. And so Oink has a hard time if the session goes stale. So to be honest, every day that I start, I refresh Chrome altogether. And that way everything is totally fresh. But that's what happens in those particular cases. Appreciate you saying that. Would you consider a feature that make it join any Creator Connections to related products on the bottom of our videos? I feel like that's where a lot of Halo sales come from. Well, the problem is the thing that's on the bottom of your videos is always going to change, right? It's going to rotate at any particular time. It's not like there's a place where you can fetch that and it's consistent. Yeah, I don't know if that would work. To be honest, I haven't paid any attention to that. Because that's always on a rotation. So like what you call one day, that one product would have to hit. And if it doesn't, then it's like you're pulling it for no reason. Again, some of the stuff, you might be right, but some of the stuff we'll have to kind of see how it plays out. I think that it's probably, though, this kind of brings me back to maybe my original point here, that I think it's important for people to start thinking beyond the Halo sale thing. There might still be opportunity there, but I think that Amazon's telling us what they want us to be doing here. And if I can find you guys extra money that's on the table, I'll find the money that's sitting on the table. But I don't want you guys to get too hung up on this and it stop you from forward progress. And that may not necessarily have been what you're saying. I just don't want you to feel like you can't move forward without it, because I am not smart. I am not talented. And I've done well in this program before the Halo sales and before Creator Connection. So I'll check into that, but just nobody here should let this impede you from moving forward. If nothing else, maybe it'll push you to continue to work and actually grow and out earn what you were getting on the Creator Connection thing. Hey. We don't need braggers, Chris. Sir. He's rubbing our face. Not only does he have a creator reward, he's making money from it. Actually, I don't know if I even made anything on this one. Nope. You know, it's also interesting, though. I'm just kidding, Chris. I know you're not a bragger. People get different creator rewards, too. Some of the offsite people, my understanding is their creator rewards are dope. Things that I have not seen personally. Under promote. Oh, yeah. Pinterest is a long game. Omar says, with international Amazon sales going 17, do you think analytic tools like Oink will eventually need features specifically for international creators? Yeah, Omar. And actually, I can't remember if I talked to you before or not. Somebody has asked me some questions about like making it in different languages. And look, guys, I love that idea. I love that somebody would even ask for this, because whenever I started Oink earlier this year, I didn't think anybody was even going to care about this thing. I mean, I knew it worked because it was helping me make money, like even on that basic sort of rudimentary version. But these kind of things I have not thought about at all. So part of me is thrilled that somebody would even care and ask this question. And part of me looks and understands that. One of the hard parts, and I'm actually sort of glad you mentioned this, I'm going to be setting up these queues. I forgot. I'm going to be setting up queues for certain international locations. I'm going to start probably in UK and Canada, and I'm just going to start coming to those people. I'm going to start asking you guys, I need you to tell me what you're missing, because I don't have good context for that. To be honest, it's a little bit of a blind spot because you don't have creator connections. So I appreciate you bringing this up, Omar, because that reminds me, once we get out of sort of this week, UK and Canada people, I'm coming for you, because I need your input on where the gap's currently at. Let me see here. I'm coming down here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight on the Creator Connections night. I did sort of get caught up on you can't see it because it's back there in the dark. I did get caught up on a lot of my shooting. I still have a pretty decent amount to do. I have 2 or 3 weight benches downstairs in boxes and a couple of rowing machines. And I just got a couch that came in, I think, 7 boxes. So as soon as I was like caught up, he was like, me. Pass. Hey, you guys are giving me more stuff up here. I'm sorry, guys. I missed it. TikTok actually requires you to post content for a sample. Yep, probably where we were. Well, I've thought a couple times that Amazon has learned some things from TikTok. Creator Connections, to me, the way that they pushed it, I felt like they took a page from TikTok and putting that under the shoulder of those brands more. I do feel like that. So I'm with you right there. I think there's lessons to be learned there. An emotional what? I'm scared of what that next word was going to be. Maggie, I'll look at it. There's some options there. And to be honest, I've had a lot of people that can't get it to work, so I need to figure that stuff out too. But this is V1. There will be multiple other versions coming for sure. Could filter by commission percentage. That would be amazing too. Oh, Yeah, I don't think I have any good sortings at the top. I think it just does it by, I don't remember what it does it by, but I will have some sort stuff coming soon. It does have some sort, but I'll put some more stuff in there. I saw a button, a product listing says request investment match. What is the best way to use that tool? If you're on Creator Connections or so there's a line between there. So it's request or investment match, I think is what it was. Investment match is from the investment profile. If you go to Creator Connections or on your storefront, you click the pink account button on the top right, and then go to I think it's on that list. I think it says investment profile. You can set up an investment profile that asks you like 50 questions of different types of products and if you would or would not invest in them based off of their Creator Connections thing. It's just like a bunch of hypotheticals, and then it puts all those things together. And if Oink finds one of those products for you while you're doing your product research, it will highlight those products for you and set it aside so you can look at it and go, oh, this is actually something that I would buy. So that's the entire purpose. If you're not interested in investing, don't worry about it, but that's what it's for. Many others. Well, I'll tell you what, Chewy. If it's got 60 days left on it, I'm still hitting it. I'm still going for it. You know why? One is those do tend to be less saturated, in my experience, because people are passing on them because it's 50. If there's at least 60 days left, 10% commission rate, just get me in that carousel for a couple days and give me 5 sales. I'm good. 5 sales over the next couple months, and I'm going to make money if I can get it as a collaboration. So I would just say I totally get it if it's not your strategy, but my strategy is as long as it's selling any number and it's got at least 60 days left on it, I'm in. I'm probably going to ask for it. So just my 2 cents. People, I think a lot of times there's a lot of opportunity in sort of like the boring, unsexy products because people want I was going to say something. What's another version of non-sexy? Sexy. They want the sexier stuff. When creating Pinterest pins, do you link the product you're shoppable? So look, I have been doing a very basic version of using just using the affiliate link with the product link. So I tag it with your affiliate link at the end. That may not be the right way to do it overall. I just did it to get the whole thing set up. I'm sort of going to rely on the Pinterest experts in the group to sort of like walk me down and show me kind of the best way to do that. But that's where I started, just so I could get started on it. Oh, a snout you can click on and it'll tell you, keep up the good work. Oh, that's I want an emotional support piggy. I don't, you've got me. And I'll say these things. Hold on. Keep up the good work. And you're as beautiful as Miss Piggy part's a little bit. I feel that's hard. Miss Piggy, I never thought was very attractive. I know she was like the babe, but I kind of felt like Miss Piggy was overrated a little bit. I didn't like her attitude. She was a little bit too much moi. I didn't like that. Just like you treated Kermit kind of bad. I watched your content gap tutorial and your gap results are, oh God. I already know. I don't even have to look. I know what's in there. And I haven't done that video. It's been a long time. It's going to be the same stuff that's in my stuff. My basement is a show. I live in a very unusual situation. I actually rarely even clicked on the Halo sales, and another one that didn't even really touch it. Interesting. I understand you want us to move past Halo sales, but losing a few grand overnight is totally get it. But hopefully unboxed. One is we kind of thought it was coming, right? So emotionally, I hope that you were prepared. I hope this didn't blindside you. First off, if it did, I'm super sorry. If you were sort of emotionally prepared to whatever degree we could be, I'm still sorry for everybody that this is the way that it's kind of going. Totally understand that. But my hope is that it wasn't why you got into the program and that your focus continues to be able to be the thing. And I do believe that the opportunity that's coming here, you'll make that up with what we do, with what Creator Connections turn into. But I would like to give everybody a virtual hug today. And I could use one. You haven't seen it. I was told that Steven stole everybody's creator rewards, is what I heard. He's probably gone by now. I haven't seen any perverted comments in here. 4 and 5. I have heard of the 5 also. And I tell you what, after I heard of the 5, I started looking real hard at Offsite. Started my first Facebook group with my wife. 5 is nuts. I mean, Not to them, they're out there working it. But that's actually one of the things I've thought about a lot this year is the Amazon influencer program, as great as an opportunity as it is, and there's fantastic opportunity to make money, 10, 20, $30,000 a month. You can do that. I can, any of us can do that. If you stay consistent and stick with what you're supposed to be doing every day. But whenever I heard about what offsite people, no, look, offsite are working. I'll be honest, offsite are working on a different level than the onsite people. I don't want to say they're working harder, but they have to build something that you have to actually scale up over time. The Amazon influencer program, you make a video today and you can make money on it tomorrow, but they've got to build something that people believe in and follow. And that is impressive. And they are getting rewarded for that from Amazon because one, their commission rates are higher, and two, because of those special sort of things that they get like that. So as soon as I had multiple conversations this year with people, that was actually my number one takeaway this year is as cool as the Halo sales things were, I knew that the scalability of them was always going to be sort of capped with what we were doing in the Amazon influencer program. But whenever I heard what was happening on offsite, I thought to myself, I'm playing in the little league here. I felt like all of a sudden I was like, I need to be doing more of that stuff over there. I've been doing stuff for about a week now. Oh no. Well, that's sort of like not quite a one night stand, but a 1 week stand. And you just weren't meant for each other. That happens. It was good while you guys had each other. Funny enough, you are live. I just got this oink error. Cannot read properties. No link. Yep, that's the one. Well, that's the one we're talking about, Shaving. That's because that function no longer works. The update that I'm going to try to push tonight is going to change those buttons. I'm going to leave them up for a little while, but whenever you click them, it's going to say they're not in use, because if I remove them, people are going to message me and go, hey, it's broken. So Shaving, if you get a chance to go up and read, daily sales does not any longer exist. So fetching today's sales or checking today's sales, both of those buttons neither one of them will get you anything. And by the way, you can also look through the Facebook groups if you guys want for that as well. And there's a bunch of conversation about those things. Selling all the samples I receive is better than my Halo. Man, I tell you what, people that can sell their stuff, I am jealous that you live in an area where you can do that. I live in a one stoplight town. I did contact a person from a local from St. Louis, one of the biggest city near me, that is going to come every couple of months and take my big lot of stuff. I'm just going to hand it off, and they're going to sell it, and we're just going to split it, whatever they can sell it for. That way I get it out of my house. But man, if I had access to people better, I would set up a really good process to be able to do that. And I just can't do that. Rory, well then I'll be depending on your input too. Then I'm going to need it. Cause again, it's just like a blind spot, because so much of this was built around, Oink was built around Creator Connections originally. The other GOs that don't have it, I think that I struggle a little bit of understanding how you perceive using the tool. So I'm definitely going to need some help with that. Flashy, not sure what it's in reference to, but I'm going to take that as a compliment, even if it's not for me, or even if it's not actually a compliment. I need it. Regardless of the days, I know something wants it or can flip it. Man, I do wish I could flip some more stuff. I just can't. When I have Agent Link shows on the top page, about half the time I will accidentally click on the background page and Agent Link disappears. Is there any way to reopen it? There should be a button on the top right that says show last results. Should work. If it doesn't, you let me know. I want a piggy shaped stress ball for the next time Amazon breaks our hearts. I will be said ball. I know you can't squeeze me, but you can lean on your boy Fizz. People remember that there's so many affiliate programs and even YouTube shopping. Don't get stuck with your eggs in basket. Even eBay. You know what? That's a good point. eBay does. I actually made some decent money off of eBay affiliate a couple of years ago. I started, whenever blogging was good, I started a sports card website for like the best rookie cards or the best whatever for like an individual player. And like I would link the sales to that particular product to eBay. I'd do my link to eBay. And I made pretty good money. Some months I made like close to $1,000 for that. And then Google was like, you're too happy. Knock it off. I get emotional every time I see Rejoice Little Piggy. I appreciate you mentioning that. And I've said this on a couple of my other things. The amount of joy that I get from putting silly stuff into the extension. Like at some points I have to go like, don't put it like I don't want to do too much, like I don't want it to be too. But I've had these little visions of like a little pig that like sneaks his head in over on the side, like he's spying on you and like disappears, like just stupid stuff, just to try to make it fun. Yeah, yeah. Nicole, you are right. It is a lot, but here's the thing. It it's going back to sort of what I was saying earlier is as much as it stinks, that hopefully though you always had your eye on the prize and always sort of recognized it as a nice sort of cherry on top of the things you're already doing, and that your goal was always to build the storefront and be. I mean, I've talked to you enough times already know that that's the case, but for the other people that are also feeling sort of like that things feel harder after this, it's just harder to get the money in the short term, but the longer term money I think is going to outweigh what just happened right here. Appreciate the hugs. I think that's a community hug right there. There's 3 hugs going on the emojis, but everybody gets a hug. Starting February 25, now this is my full-time job. It's all about pumping out good shoppable content and staying ahead of the game on Creator Connections. I think another part of the Creator Connections thing that's getting super underplayed right now is, the messaging thing gets so much hype, but it's like, who's going to get really successful at this are the ones that actually create relationships from these messages. Like, and like, I'm not good at this either. I got to get better at it. I'm okay at it. But I think that if you're looking at these messages as a one-hit opportunity, I think that if you start thinking bigger of like what these brands actually offer, it's more than just the product. Some of these brands will pay you money and put you on like this retainer thing to do lives, right? I think that if we start thinking bigger in terms of like true cooperation with these and start conversing with them for more than the product and treating them like we're trying to get more from them than just that product, but we're treating them like an actual partner. And that means not showing up anymore and just saying, give me your stuff. I think there's a lot of opportunity. That might be one of the most underutilized parts of Creator Connections is the doorway that it gives us to these brands that have money. Appreciate you saying that, lawn pusher. You're probably about to get busy if a lot of your stuff's lawn content. 5 what? Great question. I don't know. Tell me. I don't know. What did I say? 5? Hugs back. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate that, Jennifer. How's your Facebook group going? Is it actually that lucrative? I mean, I think I made $100 last month, but I'm thrilled with it. Like for that, because it's just another one of those long games. I think that at the beginning you can't hardly. You have to have a plan for, I think, scalability and growth more than you are concerned about the money that you're making at the beginning. I think is sort of like the thing that I'm learning. It was sort of the same way with the blog, right? The blog was nothing whenever I first started it, and eventually over time it sort of caught up. And if I had let the commissions early on sway me, I may not have gotten to where I go or where I went, which ultimately was Google crushing my spirit. So take from that what you will. But I mean, for the first month, it went really well. My wife knew people already, just because she's pretty social. And so she invited, I think we may have gotten a few hundred people on it doesn't sound like a lot, I know, but maybe like 400 or 500 people. I don't even know what's on it right now, but I get clicks every single day. I get a sale usually like every day, and just, working towards it. But I'm very much more focused on it, like, especially now that we sort of see Amazon doing this recentering towards links. I'm looking for what happens like a year from now, honestly, with it. And that's my goal. Hopefully I can get some of those sweet 5-figure a month creator rewards. Oh, 5 figures. I got you. Yeah. Creator rewards, when Amazon says, hey, if you can ship this much revenue in a month, you get an extra bonus. When they do that with Amazon influencers, it's usually 3 digits, a lot of times for reaching certain tiers. Sometimes they go into 4, but for some offsite people, those numbers I've heard are significantly larger, totally different. That right there, totally different game. Well, Grandpa, look, everybody starts somewhere. You can't get to 5K until you get to 500 a month, until you get to 1,000 a month. I mean, it's all part of the process. So when you're saying 20K and your goal is 5, when you hit 5, you're going to start thinking 10. That's just the way that it goes. Everybody gets in this program and they're like, man, if I could just make a car payment. And all of a sudden they get there, they go, that's a little bit easier than I thought. Man, if I could just get $1,000 a month. And that takes more work certainly to get to that point, but you got to get through all these steps to be able to get there. So if you're shooting for 5K, you're on a good track here. There you go. Oh, I should do a boot camp for 5K. Let me think about it. I was going to go on vacation in April. I just canceled it. But before I canceled it, I was just like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do this with Oink. The AI thing certainly helps, but I feel like I need my people. Oh, there's a lot of 5K people. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you guys might as well turn your timers off. The new update will actually turn them off automatically for you, but yeah, it's sad. It's like a ghost coming back, peeing on you while you're asleep. Is that my ghost? Nobody else goes pee on him? Bummer for me. Did we all get the new integration today? Facebook and Pinterest. What are your thoughts, Fizz? I haven't. Somebody did say yes. So I actually had messaged Pinterest a couple days ago because I wasn't able to connect my storefront, but I did see somebody else post about it today. And they actually did message me back and said I should be able to do it, so I haven't checked it yet. But that might actually change the Pinterest integration thing. I have to take a look. I have not seen it yet, but I did see some rumblings about that. But if it truly does allow us to post from our storefront now, I'll take a look and see what that entails and see what I can update into the extension for that. I feel like I'm just scratching the surface on what's possible with the Pinterest stuff, especially like in relation to Oink. So no, I haven't seen it yet. Sorry. But I'll certainly be looking at it here over the next probably 24 hours. Maybe tonight while I'm crying through, I'll look at it through my tears. I'm putting mine on Poshmark. I haven't done anything on Poshmark. I know a lot of people use it. I've always, is this bad? Is that for guys? Is Poshmark for guys? Or is it predominantly lady oriented? Not a phrase. Lady oriented was not a phrase I thought I'd say tonight. My CSV ASIN bulk auto accept for sponsor product was accepted earlier. Can we expect it in the next update? My CSV ASIN bulk check plus auto accept request for sponsored product was I'm not exactly sure what that means. I mean, I know you have the CSV ASIN bulk thing where you can upload your CSV and then an auto accept for was accepted earlier today. Oh, I think you're saying if you have the CSV, can we check that against your sponsored products? I think is what you're saying. Yeah, somebody else had also asked me about that too. I will certainly be having that in one of the upcoming updates. But here's the thing, unicorns. I live like if I go outside right now, I could walk outside naked and I could walk a long ways and nobody would see me. It's just one of those areas where, which maybe that's why nobody lives around me. It's just one of those areas where there's just not a lot around me going on. Even like my town that I live out in, which has one stoplight, I am multiple miles outside of that town, and I live so far out that I didn't get Starlink until a year and a half ago, and before that, I had to use cell service for my internet. So I appreciate the nod there. It's tough out here. My daughter loves the piggy icon. Oh, I'll squeeze them. I will say the Agent Oink lead up with all the dumb pig stuff that I was doing, I was getting such a kick out of it. And then all of a sudden I had this panic where I'm just like, man, what if this thing is not good? And nobody likes it. And they're like, man, that was a lot of hype for nothing. So I rethought my process to there just a little bit there. Yes, this is what I've been dabbing into for the past year. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Tiffany. I'm gonna guess probably Pinterest or Poshmark is my guess. I've yet to get a brand collab through CC. Maybe a lot of brands are far more picky now. It's true. I mean, a lot of it, they're not going to come out and just ask you for it. I think that's part of the thing we have to understand is we have to sort of approach these like we're applying for a job in a sense. Like apply for the one that we're trying to get short term, which is to get products to make the video, but we have to figure out how to nurture these relationships, I think, a little bit better. Right. Again, making sure that whenever we supply the links, that we tell them that we gave them the links. Nobody's really doing that. Oink has a way for you to automate doing that. There's a feature in the extension that will take how much you've earned from creator connections for that brand, and or maybe you do it through a CSV upload. I can't remember. And then you can message them and say, hey, over the last 60 days, I've made you X amount of revenue. I'd love to do some more work together. That feature's in there. It's called Report Outreach. I think it's on Creator Connections page. So I think it's gonna be more on us to learn how to do that. So that's a good point. That does happen from time to time. If somebody says that they want your email address, My opinion is do it. That's a good opportunity to get personal with people. The Oink Facebook feels like a warm hug. It certainly can. it can. I try to do two things with that group. One is I try not to censor any posts. The only time that I have to censor posts, I don't ever censor posts about other extensions like competitors. I want the Oink group to be a free conversation. As long as nobody's promoting anything, I'm totally fine with that. If somebody says Oink sucks booty holes and these other ones are great, I'm not going to take that down if they're being honest and it's part of the conversation. The only time that I have to block posts is because it's a group full of affiliate marketers, and if I don't control what people post, and all of a sudden it's just going to be a bunch of people posting like, here's my YouTube channels or here's my affiliate links and kind of whatever. But other than that, I try to keep the whole thing very, very open. But I do keep an eye on for if I see somebody being any sort of like disrespectful, and that tends to be a thing that happens in the Amazon influencer program. I don't see it really in our group. I've seen it before where there's a lot of down talking of like, you don't know how this program works, just because somebody would have a different strategy. Like I used to get told that a lot of like, well, when you are around longer and you know your worth, you'll do it different. And I'm like, I don't know if you know who you're talking to. But I'm like, I guess I should have just said nothing. But we do have a good group, and especially, look, we're all competing with each other in a sense, right? And so we've done a good job of not letting that stand in the way, like also helping each other to find lines sometimes to walk. So yeah, the Facebook group strategy, well, it depends. I'm sure there's a lot of different ones. Ours, typically what we do is we look at the coupons page and we look for products that are on sale, that are on a, short-term deal or whatever the case is. And we post those over into our Facebook group. There's nothing too complicated. I know some of the Facebook groups that are way more organized and lucrative than what I'm doing. They're very, very like organized with CSV sheets and like all sorts of things, smarter on every level of organization than I am. But for us, the way that we do it, just kind of starting out, it doesn't have to be crazy. It's just like we created one. We invited some people that we knew in. We just started posting, and we just sort of like post, and we focus more on the number of followers than we do the commissions we're making right now. But yeah, it doesn't have to be any harder than that. And there's a function in the extension. If you're looking at any product page, in Amazon, Oink shows you a little Facebook icon next to the product page. That's what that's for. So you can create your post right there on that specific product, and then you can cross post it pretty easy over to Facebook. Actually, the way my wife does it every single day with that specific tool, which has been really kind of interesting for me to watch happen. Is like she didn't know anything about Oink until we started our Facebook group, and then she started doing the Facebook thing, and I had to show her how to use Oink for that stuff, and now she like uses it every day. It's pretty neat. I think you need to interview the guy making 20. I mean, hi, I'm Fizz. I mean, I didn't hit 26. I don't want to say I hit 26, but I'll find the guy that made 26 though. But in case you're looking for him, 5K boot camp. I know it sounds good too. Honestly, it's got a really nice ring to it. At the same time, I'm just like, 5K boot camp. Man, I do like the way it sounds. I just don't know what that would be yet. But let me think how to put that together. Oh, stop it. Give me some that's some scary movie stuff with ghosts peeing on you. Well, it depends if you're into that. Some people might think it's scary. Some people, not me, I promise, maybe don't mind. Okay, next. 5K boot camp, please. Oh, boy. Oh. No, I wonder if Fizzy. Oh, that's exactly okay. Perfect. You got there before. I mean, I don't. Let's be very clear. I am not when it comes to the ghost pee. Can't even feel it. It's ghost pee. I mean, I don't know if you can feel it or not. It's never happened to me. Yeah, that's to the ghost pee. Amazon Lives. That's a whole different ball game. But I've been loving. Oh, Lives. So I'm also very intrigued by Amazon Lives. I'm still making money on the lives that I did last year with very little effort put into it. I mean, I had to prep for them and stuff, but I think there's a lot of opportunity there too. I'm with you. The fact that I'm still making money months later, that, about $100 a month, I think I'm still making on that right now. And yeah, I'm with you. It's just a timing issue for me. I just can't really seem to get time to it, but I'm with you. I thought it said Amazon Lives at first. You got crazy freaky ghosts out there in the middle of nowhere. Maybe it's all the toys. Fair. I love Amazon Lives. Honestly, totally worth it. So, and if you go back to like, if anybody here is fans of Gary Vaynerchuk or you know him, like, and I'm not necessarily a fan. I mean, I followed his, I don't follow him, but I pay attention to him. He's talked about this for about the last year and a half about social shopping, how he's kind of sees that as like the next thing. And he always kind of points to like TikTok lives, right? Or I don't think he said specifically Amazon lives, but that's whenever I started to do it, was whenever I heard him talking about it. I was like, let me just see. And it's been, I mean, I've made $100 probably a month, every month since I started doing it, even though I've only done like 3 of them. Can you make a new video with the features? Storefront fetches still work. Holistic, right now, everything that I have seen other than the daily fetch works. I have not come across another feature yet. Today I did storefront fetch. Today I did the sponsored thing. I did the storefront cross check. I did all the other cross checks. I did everything. There's only one that I haven't checked yet, and it's a reporting one. It's called I don't remember what it's called. To be honest, a lot of people don't use it, but everything else, generally the Canada, UK stuff, the YouTube functionality, everything else in there I've seen so far works. But I will certainly continue to kind of keep an eye on it. I'm sure that if you come across, please let me know. But so far, except for the Creator Connections chats, which was not related to me, but I always include my email address. Good thinking. That's very. I think that I do too on most of my. Maybe I should be doing it on more of them. Brand collabs. The best thing I started doing recently is asking stuff if we can move them conversation. If they agree, send your portfolio. Nice. Puts a personal touch on it, right? One, it gets you out of that ecosystem of the Creator Connections hell, which I have to imagine that they're in, right? Because at some point, some of these brands just stop paying attention to the chats, right? I mean, they have to. Like, there's just too much. It's overwhelming or kind of whatever. So, I mean, certainly not all of them, but some of them certainly will. So that's actually a pretty good call there on that, especially if you can keep it organized, right? That's the other part. Is for me, part of the value of it being all within Creator Connections is I know where to go and look. But then certainly the downside there is a lot of these brands will tune out because there's too much going on. So moving it to somewhere else, that's actually a really good point there. Appreciate that, Jennifer. Can we share our income from Canada as well with the brands? Can we share income from Canada as well with the brands? Most of my traffic is Canadian. I mean, you can tell them whatever you want. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, it's really just more a matter of sharing like your actual data. There's some gray areas certainly within that for that type of deal. It's hard because I think you're talking about like Creator Connections is what you're talking about there, and like how do you connect with those brands on that. I mean, that's something. So, I mean, honestly, I think that this year, but we're in just like now March, I think we're going to learn a lot more on sort of how to approach Canada and some of these things, especially I think Canada, you're about to have your reports probably updating too. So UK, I think just got it today. So it's also some of that stuff's going to change for you guys too. But I think there's a lot of opportunity there if we can figure it out. Again, brand conversation, brand communication, brand relationships. I think that's probably the biggest gap that I see in the entire Amazon influencer system. Amazon Lives are great as you can chop them up afterwards into individual product videos. That's a great point. On top of the videos that you've already made, right? You can certainly do that. And the live stream gets posted to your storefront. It gets its own individual tab. So now if you're messaging on Creator Connections or emailing, they come to your storefront because you got your storefront link in there. They can see you do live streams. Some of you right now don't have a live stream on your thing. Maybe you should just try one and at least to get it set up. And even if it stinks, so what? It's at least on your tab and then you can get that ball rolling. But a lot of these brands are looking for people to pay to do live streams. And it's going to be harder for them to pick you if you don't have one yet. And they look at your storefront, they don't see one. I don't know what that is, Avocado. Doing what? I'm not exactly sure. I don't remember what I said. What's up, Karen? How you doing? I'm curious how other extension groups are dealing with all the changes. I mean, I'm sure. They're people. Well, one, we have a lot of the same people, right? So I'm sure that it's the same feeling in a lot of those groups, and I've had conversations with all of them. I mean, the other two primary competitors, and I think I got a pretty good feel for them. And I have to probably say that they're probably very similar, very, very sympathetic to their people, and probably doing a really good job of making sure to keep them focused on the stuff that matters most in the program is what I guess. But I would imagine the people are even the ones in those groups that aren't annoying and vice versa. I think that they're all feeling probably the same would be my guess. 100% agree with that. Very much so. Well, I tell you, most of the Amazon Live, my experience was learning the setup part of it. Now, I probably got a little bit overcomplicated because, like, I have this like thing that, um, oh, I can't even pull it out right now. Like, it does an overview thing, so down, so I could do it on a desk. And then I also looped in my videos from my storefront. So I did like 5 or 6 products, and so I would actually do the live, and I'm like talking about it like here, and I'm like, oh, this is nice, and kind of whatever. And then I'd play the video that I had already made for that particular product, and I'd come back on and I'd talk about it some more. So I got a little bit too in depth, but you don't have to do all that. To be honest, because you have to do it on your camera, you can just set the camera up, pick your products, and turn the camera on and just start to go. It's probably the easiest way to do it. I just wanted to see what I could sort of do with it right off the gate, but it did annoy me a little bit how much setup that I had to actually do. Well, here's the thing. There's nobody really to talk to about that, Yelena. I mean, it's two things. One is making good regular commissions, but nothing in creator connections. I did accept and double check item link too. I mean, that's hard. That's a little bit hard, I think, to track down. I mean, you can always email customer support, let them know. I think you're probably going to hit a dead end there. Because timing is a little bit of an issue there with creator connections. Like, did you have the campaign before it actually shipped out, or did you accept the campaign after it already shipped out? Right. So in other words, you might see it on your report today, but if you accept in the campaign for it tomorrow, you can't make the money on it because it already shipped out. Like the campaign, you have to have the campaign before the product ships. So maybe some of it's related to that. A little bit hard to tell on an individual maybe basis like that. I feel like that I have seen this. I haven't been in a lot of groups. I was in one pretty big one, and I felt like whenever I started Oink, the way that I wanted to set it up was so it wasn't the thing that I had seen, and so that was really important for me to try to do that. And I think part of that for me comes down to just like being one of you guys, like, and just participating with you guys. I'm not trying to do, to take advantage of anybody. I'm not trying to get what I get from you, whatever. I'm trying to build a tool that actually matters for you guys, because then it matters for me too. I'm trying to build a community tool. And so, yeah, I have seen that too. And that was honestly on my mind whenever I created these groups. Specifically, if you go and look at the one Facebook group, one of my rules says something like, don't be a jerk or something like that, or like you will be kicked out, or basically something along those lines. I just don't want it to be like that. 100%. That's one of the cool things about this program. It doesn't. I think strategies, although important, doesn't have to be a certain thing. You can be smart. You can be dumb. You can be short. You can be tall. You can walk on your hands. You could talk with your eyeballs. There's all sorts of like variations to this stuff. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. I think consistency for me, the thing is matters most. I don't walk on my hands, but I'm not smart. Like, I'm by no means smart. And I'm just consistent. I've always kind of said I'm just too dumb to know when to quit. And so strategies, I've seen a lot of the people that do this at a very high level have very different strategies from each other. But the one consistent thing is typically the thread of consistency throughout all of them. I haven't spent a lot of time on there, but I've heard some interesting stories about that. Is it better a Facebook group or Facebook page? So the difference there is that the group, my understanding is, actually gets a better reach. So whenever you post, it's more likely to possibly, maybe not going to happen, but get fed out by Facebook to random public, whereas a page doesn't have the reach. That a page might be more manageable in some ways, but a group is actually where you get to. So we actually have both. I have a page that we don't post on as much. And to be honest, I just took this as a strategy that I saw other people doing this at a high level do, that had both, where the group gets the predominant postings, but the group still gets love too, because it has followers. So it still kind of gets its own unique thing, but it just doesn't get as much of the posting as like the group does. So that was the process that I followed. Is it right or not? Time will tell, but that was what I did. And the reason that I did it was my understanding. For Pinterest, I do share videos from storefront. I do make photo content with your new tool. Oh, nice. I have heard of people doing the photos, or I've heard them do the video stuff over to Pinterest. I haven't looked at it yet. Again, I really only set my account up like to do the tool. So, but somebody else had mentioned that they have theirs like set up to automatically go over to Pinterest as well. All buyers, all different types of content. That's it. I got a bunch of plastic butts in my basement. Who would have thought? You could win with 40 plastic butts. That's on a low. That's on a low period. Pinterest Amazon is currently in the test phase and only be able to select influencers. But it seems like Pinterest is not aware that Amazon limited to creators that they invited. That tracks. I feel like there was a little bit of mixed messaging on the Pinterest side and on the Amazon side. Pinterest made it sound very easy, and then there was like another section that said something. Maybe it was on the Amazon side that said that it's actually available only for a select few. So I'll have to double check. I also noticed that I had different options on my mobile Pinterest account than I did on my desktop. So whenever I was on my desktop, I didn't see anything on Amazon to accept or to link. Whenever I went to my mobile, I was actually able to link my Amazon store, no, my Amazon store, my Amazon account, so you could like buy easier or something like that. But it wasn't on the desktop. I thought that was kind of interesting. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I'm posting promos on my YouTube. It's a pain. Has it always been so difficult? I used to get people to come to my channel, but man, what a pain. What's a promo to you, Karen? I've been posting promos on my YouTube. It's a pain. Do you mean your shoppable videos? Eyes are great and brand love them. That's my understanding too. That was my theory. And the cool thing is, if you can start getting those relationships through those lives, it doesn't have to stay to lives with those. A lot of those guys have TikToks and YouTube channels. There's a lot of opportunity there to start doing some stuff. I like the idea of I have no idea what that looks like. You know what, Jamie? Just turn it on. I think sometimes it's hard until you're kind of in it. Remember, for the most part, nobody's really going to see the video anyways. You know what I mean? Like, and if it doesn't convert, then fine. Then you got a good, and if it does convert, then awesome. Then you kind of walked into something you weren't expecting. And if it doesn't, then you didn't really lose anything. And you gained actually valuable experience and just trying it out. I think the unknown there, don't let that stop you from doing it, because if it fails, then nobody's even going to know. If it does well, cool. Then it actually puts you on a path to maybe doing some more and maybe making some more money from that. 2017, that's 9 years ago. Wow. I know. Just look, I made over 10K. My first time that I made over 10K, Creator Connections contributed about $300 of that. Now think about what Creator Connections eventually turned into. So I know a lot of creators that are 10, 15, 20, 30 and up from there. And yeah, certainly possible. And remember, a lot of those people were hitting some of those numbers before Creator Connections existed, just by pure consistency and pure grit. So it is absolutely possible. Now, don't get me wrong, it's work. You know what I mean? Like, I always tell this story on my videos early on that, like, that first year in the program, there was not a day that went by that I didn't touch this program. I was consistent all the time. And so, and that paid off over time. So you can't do it a couple times a week and have that happen. It's certainly, and not that that's what you're insinuating, anybody's insinuating, but I do think that the output will equal the effort that's put in. Kinda. I think that's pretty much it. You find some products you have there. You have to select which product. Whenever you set up the Amazon Live app, because you have to do it all through the app on your mobile, you set the phone up, you go in, you tag whatever products you want. You can even put them in like an idea list if you wanted to do something like that. And then they're on the screen. So as you're talking about it, you can actually just scroll through and you click the one you want to start talking about and it highlights it. And so the people that are watching can see that that's the one you're talking about now. Then you go to the next one. Whenever you're ready to start talking about that, you can click that and it goes to the next one. Whenever you're done, you just click done. Yeah, it's really not that hard if you want to just do a very basic setup and set it up once and just give it a shot. My first one, I think I did like 5 products just to like give it a try. And once you start talking, you just kind of start talking. I mean, you feel kind of dumb because nobody's watching for a while and you're just like, let me tell you about this, but you're doing it for the people later more so until you get a following built up, right? I actually had a pretty decent group follow me or watch last time. Yeah, I think you have to kind of jump on and start doing it. Are you allowed to post the collages on Pinterest? Yeah, I think so. But Danny, there's some people posting in the Facebook groups now and Oink that are, I think, doing Pinterest at a very high level. Might be worth doing a search in those groups for Pinterest and see what you can find there. I think so, but I'm only posting the actual product right now itself. Sin says, that's like a lot of my live stream sponsors for flat fees. I always include my emails. Definitely recommend others do too. Appreciate that, Sin. I trust what Sin says. Sin's making money from 9 years ago lives. I'm going with what Cynthia says. Canada reports changed to, oh, they did. Oh, I did think you're right. You know what? I think I've been so wrapped up with the US one. I saw the UK one that I think I skipped over seeing the Canada one. Somebody mentioned it, I think one of the groups, especially for clothing lives, always clip for videos. See, that was something I missed. I did not do that yet. I appreciate it. See, community helping Fizz. Put your live on YouTube. Oh, see, I didn't do that either. I need to start paying attention to my live. To be honest, I just need to get more organized as part of the problem. Yes, I previous live on YouTube, but I remember to upload. That's where I'm at. I need to get on a schedule. You know what? Honestly, now that I'm using like Claude Cowork, I'm just going to tell it like, hey, I need a schedule. That would be cool. Let me see here. The lives tell you a nice place to add a video pitch we can send to brands. Well, think about it like this though. I think that those are your pitches. You know, like your storefront is kind of your pitch in a weird way. The content that you create and you present, showing that you have idealists, showing that you have live streams, having a really nice bio there, you know, that really kind of targets the brands more than anybody else. Because look, unless you're specifically sending people to your storefront, nobody's going, but brands do. So I think that in a way is like your pitch. That's your resume, your storefront. I think we should be thinking about those as that. Pull your Ginger card. You can't do that. That's our what is that? Not your calling card. What is it like whenever you have a thing everybody kind of knows? Trademark. Is that right? Trademark. How to automate sending CC messages about us making videos. Oh yeah. That's already done. If you go to Creator Connections and at the top, I have to go through my tabs so I can remember. At the top, there is a button that says Other Actions. And then the first one says Add Links to Campaigns. So whenever you do that, it'll give you an option. Do you want to send messages to these brands? And then if you say, yeah, you can put your message in there. And then it will send that message out to any brands who links you have submitted for them. Right. So already kind of automated for that. It doesn't have to be a crazy message like, hey, I know you're wanting these links. Well, guess what? Muchacho? Here you go. Let's see here. Where'd that go? I can't even see that now. Oh, got that one there. Okay. Learn OBS. That's what I also have OBS. If somebody's willing to put the time into it, it does make it quite a bit easier to be able to get a little bit fancier with your videos. If you're just starting out doing your lives, try it on your phone just so you can get a feel for what the program is. And that way, I think it'll actually help you set up like OBS and some of those other things later better if you have context for how the whole program sort of moves. Well, I overdid it. My next ones I'll probably do will be a little bit more simplistic. I think is probably what's going to happen. I should have found a nice sort of in between. I wish they put back live streams on top of our storefront, similar to brand store life. Mine's on my storefront. My storefront says live streams at the top. We should put live streams on top of our storefront, similar to store. Oh, you mean like the actual like thing that was playing, not the tab? I think is what you mean there. Do your first lives without B-roll, so Amazon doesn't cut your stream for any mistakes. Ooh, that's an interesting call there. I didn't know that they would do that. Lives, use your phone, and ideally a second phone to message to watch. That I think that is something probably. I did use my phone predominantly whenever it was here to watch the messages that were coming through, and so I was using this. This is OBS here. And I was using my phone to watch the messages and things over here. And then I was switching through my products over there too. I haven't touched Codex yet from chat. I'm probably not going to. I'm pretty much wrapped up in a combination between Cursor and Claude Cowork, honestly, or Claude, however you want to look at it, but Claude Cowork. I mean, I haven't touched a lot of them, just enough. I typically find one that works and I stick with that, and my consistency helps it kind of work better. But that's, Claude Cowork. Last week I said, hey, go to my YouTube channel, pull all the audio text from all my videos, and go over to log into my website and start writing blog articles based on the videos I made. And it's like, all right. And it's like all of a sudden I had like 30 or 40 blog articles that I haven't had time to write in months. And it took like my thumbnail off my thing. It structured them like blog article. Like, it's pretty dope. Let me see. The item is making money with May and business CC as well. Was wondering if talking to the brand will help. No, brand doesn't know, and to be honest, customer service doesn't know. There's a disconnect there somewhere. The link might work, but my question would be: is it actually the same ID number? Because even if you click that product and it goes to that product page and you see your video, that doesn't mean that's the one you actually have tagged. Because sometimes it can be variation specific. I thought that the first time whenever you asked, but I didn't say anything. And now whenever you see it like this, if you're saying that the link works and you see your video there, that'd be my thought. Let me see here. I see a bunch of OBS conversation. I'm going to let you guys have that. Appreciate that, Jamal. Appreciate the shout out there. Absolutely. No, we're not going to do that, Gear. You missed all of it. I'll repost this later so you can rewatch. I went over the reporting stuff. I went over the Creator Connections chat being broke, which was a fun bonus on top of everything else, and just sort of my thoughts on the program. I also told people that if their only point of doing the Amazon Influencer program was the Halo sales and they weren't actually trying to build a storefront, that they probably shouldn't have a Wink. Just so you guys know, in case you're ever wondering if I'm just out here trying to like pitch something just so I can money grab, I'm telling people that they shouldn't have it. Oftentimes, like if I don't think that they should actually have it, if they're not going to use it for the way that it's actually going to benefit them. So just keeping it real. I'm an A-lister and I've tried to get on the A-list. I tried to get the, I signed up to be on the lives thing like 90 days ago. I think they're not letting people in anymore. I haven't heard of anybody getting into the program anytime soon. Working to A-lister. I don't know what the qualifications are. Do you guys remember what the qualifications are? I'm glad you brought this back around, Cheryl. Plastic butts. Hope they never search your house for any reason or you're going to jail. I do have a backup plan for that actually already. I told my brother that if something happens to me, he has to come get my computer. He has to go out to my shed and go into my basement and take everything before anybody else gets here. I gave him the code to everything just in case, because, you know, my kids are going to have questions, which they should. They should certainly. But I'm glad that you kind of went there already. I was already there because I thought the same thing. I'm just kind of going down here through the guys. I'm just going to stay down here for probably another 10 minutes or so and try to get through these questions. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a little bit tonight. I am going to push a couple of updates tonight on a couple of things. I do have a feature that I am dropping in. Probably my number one most requested feature that I am putting in begrudgingly. Jamal, truthfully, the answer is 1. I mean, you know, it really doesn't have anything to do with volume. It has everything to do with product opportunity. If you can make 1 million videos on products that aren't selling and make no money, you can make one video on a product that sells like crazy and make $1,000, $10,000, certainly a stretch, but it really just all comes down to that. In my first month in the program, I tell this story a lot. I made like $2,000 in my very first month in the program. I had like 130, 140 videos on my storefront. And I thought it was because the program was this easy. I was like, I'm going to get rich. It turns out it's just because I had a couple of good products that popped. I didn't understand that at the time, but it's all about the products in this thing. I typically try to steer people too much away from like the volume-based mentality whenever it comes to the program, because that used to be it. You know, it used to be just make as many videos as you can. But back then there wasn't as many influencers. You could just make videos and you were the only one there and people would watch it and you make money. But now because there's so many influencers, you have to be a little bit smarter with the products that you select and how you spend your time. And so my recommendation would be do as many videos as you can on products that are actually selling. If you want to get to whatever number you're trying to get to as fast as possible, that's the combination right there. If the products aren't selling and you're saying yes to products that are not selling, then it's gonna take you. It's gonna be harder to get there if you can get there at all. I will say that the people that are making 5 figures a month are much pickier about the products they select and if the products are actually selling or not. Very rarely do they just take them anymore because they can do it, right? Man, it's another long game, you know. Because think about this: who wants to really sign up for a follow-up channel that does random reviews, you know? And that's all of us, right? I have a channel like that too. They're really hard to scale. I think once you get past a certain point, it starts to pick up traction. I know David Peters, who posts a lot in the group, my buddy Doug. You know, they've been doing it for a while. Right? It's a long game. YouTube is a much longer game. I don't think that you can post for 6 months and really expect to see very much return on that. I think you have to be probably looking personally. I would say more like a year type of situation there. But most people, they're not going to subscribe, frankly, to just a general reviews channel. Now, what I have recommended people do is maybe start making some videos though that aren't reviews of just interjecting yourself, so people can kind of see like, hey, these products that I'm posting, these are products that I'm like showing you. Like do like a regular video one day. We're just like, I'm just going to the doctor's office, just want to check in with you guys, and do like a kind of a vlog style thing. So it's not just about the reviews. You have a little bit of personality in there. You're more likely to get followers because it's actually they're following you instead of just like a random reviews channel, even though it's still full of reviews. Hey, Londo, crazy days. We're here for the long run. Your name gets brought up, I think, a pretty decent amount. I think you probably see that in the chats. I think it came up actually maybe in this chat earlier today. Good to see you, man. It's always knows the grindstone. You know, the strategy is always consistency. You know, like that's what the thing always has been. Sorry, guys, I'm just going through. I can see that a lot of you guys are chatting with each other, and I'm skipping your thing. I'm apologizing, but I just want to make sure to try to get down through in case anybody had anything else. Somebody says, what does OBS stand for? I don't know, but that's just the name of the software is OBS. It's actually called OBS. Let's see here. Oh, it does have an open broadcaster software. I didn't even know. I've been using it for a couple of years. I didn't even know what it was called. Fellow nerd tip. If you're I actually looked into FFmpeg to put it into the extension, because one of the things with YouTube I think that's really important to think about is if you're cross posting your videos from Amazon over to YouTube, one of the biggest things on YouTube that people do is you got to have a call to action somewhere on your, it's like, hey, subscribe if you're subscribed to my channel or whatever, or link is in the description. But on Amazon videos, you don't have any of that stuff. You're just posting a video without any call to action on it whatsoever. I mean, typically, right? Because you don't typically say add it to your cart or something. So I did look into a little bit of adding FFmpeg into doing bulk video overlays. So you could just do a thing, create your own overlay if you wanted to, that just said in the bottom corner, like link in the description, and on the bottom right hand, it had like your affiliate disclosure or something, but it was too erratic. So I actually just do that now through repurpose.io, because on Repurpose, you can create those overlays. So now Repurpose for me, what it does is it puts the overlays on that I create and then automatically uploads them over to YouTube for me. I still have to go over and like tag the products and stuff like that. But I did look into the FFmpeg for a little bit to try to make it in the extension, and it was just too janky. Goal for me. Something about reporting on Amazon live streaming. Let's go. Videos and trying to post more on socials. Let's go. It sounds like the Trinity is what that sounds like. Amazon live streaming, videos, and trying to post more. Yep. I like it. How do you know if the sale came actually through live? Is there a way to see that? I did 2 lives a year ago, but I don't know if there was anything. You have to actually look on the app. I think that the app, and to be honest, it's a good question. I never even looked to see if I got paid on them. I presume it comes in somewhere. Sin or somebody that you guys know. I don't know where the extra sales come from. Let's see here. It's hard to explain. I went on a vacation one time. I was just out of town for the weekend, and he was 20 or 21 at the time. He went downstairs to do dog feeding, and I noticed that one of the boxes were open, and I just felt like he was being weird after. And I was like, hey, if you saw anything downstairs, like just don't pretend like you never saw it. And he goes, what? And I was like, that's exactly right. So I don't even know if he saw it, but he played it off really good. Yeah, I went to A-list. I think I have like 2,500 followers or something. I don't know how, but I do. I thought maybe that'd get me in, but they probably didn't let me in because I only have like 3 or 4 live streams. Is it the brand follow-up option? I think you're talking about in Creator Connections, and it's the add links to campaigns. I'm not sure if that's the one you're talking about, but add links to campaigns. It says send brand messages is what it's talking about. If that's what you're talking about, I'm not exactly sure if that is. Oh, big spring sales coming up. Good point on that. People need to be focusing on making sure. Oh, I probably need to make an adjustment. I need to drop something into the extension for that this week, because there's stuff on this list that you guys might be able to make secondary pieces of content on if it's going to be on the big. I might be too late. I have to see what day that is. I forgot. I like that Sin says I just post unhinged stuff. It's very honest. I like it. It's almost 1 a.m. I'm on the porch. I should be sleeping. I'm with you. You know, I will say this. I think the community handled today really well. I did it with Claude Cowork. So I told it to go to my channel and get the video transcript for each of my videos, which you could technically then do this with anybody else's videos, but these are my videos, and then take them over to my. So yeah, I just gave the instruction. I was like, here's my channel. Go over and grab me like 6 at a time. Get the transcripts. I want you to create blog articles. Here's my login for WordPress. Go and make it. And I had to finagle it a little bit there, like to make it do its thing, but it worked really well. So now all I have to do is I can go back right now and just go, hey, grab me 6 more and do that. And it'll go, okay. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Claude Cowork specifically. To be honest, I haven't touched Claude very much itself. Like, to be honest, I use ChatGPT for like the conversational stuff. So, yeah. All right. No follow-up message. To be honest, I don't get that question a lot. And to be honest, I'm typically not too big on the follow-up concept. Because it's sort of like if a brand doesn't respond to you, either they're not paying attention or they're just getting inundated. And I feel like I get so many responses from brands on the first pass that I can turn around and do another first pass and get more responses. I feel like if you're going back and hitting the same, knocking on the same door again that nobody was at the first time, there's also a good chance they're not there the second time. If I wasn't getting responses on the first passes, maybe I'd be more probably open to that. But I'm generally not a big, again, I'm open to being swayed on this as I am the one that I'm getting ready to release. I'm just not a huge fan. I'd rather see people probably being more proactive and moving forward than circling back around and spending time on the ones that didn't respond on the first one. Well, so I have the high tier because I use it for a lot of different things. I think that the first tier might have been like $100 a month, and I was running out of tokens on that. The next one, which was $200 a month, but I'm using it for work, right? It saves me. I'm saving money so if you're just doing it for like hobbyist type stuff, that would certainly be that'd be a hard one to swallow, no doubt. But I have, they have a couple different options, and I have the highest one just to make sure that I don't run out of tokens because I can't afford to, basically. Yeah, depends on what you're using it for, right? I mean, it is for me because of the position that I'm in, and I actually think it has some really kind of interesting things. I'm working on it for like the influencer stuff, but also for Oink, especially a lot for me, like looking at code and dealing with like payments and like stuff like that. It's been really, and some of these other things like taking my transcripts from YouTube, stuff that I just haven't had time for. It's really good for those kind of extra things too. Yeah. Some of them don't know they exist. I've learned that also as well. And you know what? And on this, Alicia, I could be wrong. Ultimately, in the end, it's just sort of I generally just tend to think very much forward focused, and there's always more brands that are ready to respond, and sort of my general thought there. Keywords. I do pay for it because it makes it cheaper and faster. Yeah. Well, you know, if you can find a business use for it, that sort of makes it helps, right? It helps you kind of go like, okay, I'll go ahead and do this thing. A message is even worse than what we see on the influencer side. I can't imagine what a day looks like on that side for those people that are getting messages on top of messages. I don't blame them for not paying attention at some point. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm going to sign off now. I just want to jump on and talk about the reporting, talk about the creator connection messaging stuff, and just kind of give you my thoughts on sort of where stuff is going. Again, sort of the group handled it really well today, to be honest with you. I think that the conversations we had leading up to it, the expectations were kind of set already. I certainly saw, some of the people that were not quite in panic mode, but I expected that a little bit. But I think that in general, the community did really well with this. And sort of came together with sort of supported each other in some weird way to see this thing, what seems to be getting buried right in front of our eyes. But like I said, the majority of the people that are doing this at a high level right now were doing this at a high level before Creator Connections, and that's why they got into it, was because the opportunity was there. And Creator Connections just made the whole thing juicier. Daily sales just made the whole thing juicier. Nice try, Christopher. Not going to happen yet, and I don't know. Anytime that I predict when I'm going to release something else either comes up or I break the thing first that I am doing. So I will say this: if you've been watching very many of my videos, I have typically said about this particular feature that I am not a fan of it, but because I think strategically it's not very helpful, and I've actually taught people to ignore this in the past. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, thanks everybody. Everybody just kind of keep hanging in there. And by the way, Creator Connections will probably break a bunch in the next couple of days. Reporting will probably stop loading in some weird. There's a lot of changeover going on the back end of stuff. As always, continue to send in your messages to the help desk if you would, if you have some sort of issues, and just thank you guys again as always for the support. So as always, we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.